you got adult children now. You know, shout out to your princess. That's the only one you got, right? It's the only one you got.
I got 3 boys and girls. Shout out to Ray Ray, Koi, Taj, and Zeno, and my girl's son Samaj. So I really got 5. And
So she's the only girl out the crew.
she's the only girl out the whole crew. And she also has 2 older brothers that I raised before she even
Wow.
got here that wasn't mine. So she's the only girl, and believe me, Koi is more like me than any of the guys. She's
Mm.
yeah, no, she's tenacious,
Mm.
resilient. I
Mm.
mean, outgoing, leader. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I mean, she has all these qualities, and not that her mother doesn't have those qualities, but you could see Benzino if you knew me personally and watched me grow and then watch her, you could see it. It's easy. I see it. It's so
Mm.
easy to see. She has a lot of me, a lot of my attitude, a lot of what I did. I remember, my baby's mother used to always be like, "Listen, you better come get her. You better come get Benzina."
You know what is very plain to see how proud you are of her. When you say her name, there is a light that comes on around you, and there is a smile that you just can't erase.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it, and it's unfortunate because I'm watching out from the outside looking in, but it's
Mm.
okay. I know. When it comes to situation like that, the only one that can fix that is God,
Mm.
and I'm going to be right here waiting for it.
Mm.
It's unfortunate what happened to us as far as the internet, but it's nothing different from a lot of what a lot of fathers are going through with their daughters are who came up like me,
Absolutely.
street guys,
Yeah.
who 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 wasn't with the mother anymore, and then going through the issues with the mother, and it's just a lot of factors in it that it's not a coincidence that a lot of guys in the hoods are going through this.
Mm.
With boys, it's a lot easier to deal with.
Mm.
Girls, when it comes to street guys and fathers and how to deal with their daughter, we're still learning as we go along. There's no handbook.
Right.
And we have to balance who we are in the street and how we are and who we are to try to raise a child. We're not
A
going to be Cliff.
daughter at
We're
that.
not going to be. We're not going to be Cliff Huxtable. We're not going to be Greg Brady. We're not going to be that. We didn't get to grow up watching shows of single families and how the closest thing was Boys in the Hood,
Right.
and that was raising a son, still not a daughter, because
Right.
there's so many different facts. It really is different from a father to son and father to daughter. So you know, I'm to the point where I realize because millions of people are looking at our relationship, the ups and downs with it. I realize that the only person that's going to be able to intervene and make it right is going to be God. And not
Mm.
saying that it's not right. It's just that with me, the only thing that is right is when your daughter and father are loving each other and speaking highly of one another. If it's not that, then it needs to be fixed. And I'm the first to say that it needs to be fixed. And I have open arms for her whenever that moment in time comes. I'm not going to rush it, but I'll still be on the outside looking at her. If it ever comes down to some other shit, some where she needs me, I'm only a call away, and I'll be there. And
Mm.
however long it takes me to get there, I'm leaving it in a split second. So, I've learned to deal with this a lot better. I was bitter. I was angry because I didn't felt like that myself or no parent deserves disrespect from how they raised their person. But I think when they're looking at how it raised, it's like, well, you wasn't there. Well, it's hard to be there when you're out making money. It's hard to be there when you got to be in the street. It's hard to be there when you're living a life that you necessarily is a dangerous life and you don't want around your daughter. So the dynamics of raising her and how she looks at, well, you wasn't there, but a lot of us aren't going to be there the way you want. But if we're providing and when we are there, we're showing love. And me being an old school dad, I have to be who I am. And I'm only looking at that on how I was raised, how I respected my parents. I would never talk bad about my parents. My father was in jail half of my life. My father was my fucking hero. Me and my father pulled guns on each other broad daylight on some crazy shit in New York. I love my father to death. And the reason I'm saying that is just to show I've never ever mentioned that before. I've
Mm,
never said that to make him look bad or to, but me and my father have had issues, but I've never talked bad to him. He's my hero. He's the reason I'm alive. He's the reason I'm here. He's the reason who I am is him.
mm,
And sure, we've had our hard times. I would never disrespect him. I would never talk to Duck bad at him. I would always
mm,
talk about how much great he was. And my father, all he did was sell drugs. He used
mm.
drugs. He's still my fucking hero till I die. He's still living. My mom passed.
How old is Schnapps? How old is Schnapps now?
Well, my mom passed.
I
She
know
would have
your
been,
mom passed. Rest in light for your
yeah,
mom.
Coy is 26,
And how old is your dad now? Schnapps.
84.
Oh,
80,
wow.
Wow, amazing.
That
you
is
know, and she always
beautiful.
talks about, my granddad and Schnapps. I gave Coy her name and I gave my father his name, Schnapps. And
Mm.
a lot of hip hop guys know my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that, because when you meet my dad, it's like you're looking at Goodfellas, or you're looking at Casino, or you're like that, how he carries himself. And he was a part of that life. But him not being there wasn't a problem because I
Mm,
would go visit him in jail when I was a young age. It doesn't matter. He's still my
mm,
dad. And he's
mm.
still us being in the projects. I wasn't mad at that because, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Me coming out and have to do missions for him at 12, 13. There's nothing anybody can say that'll make me regret or have anything bad to say about my dad. And that's what I'll always I'll always live by that. And I understand, Coy, things happen. We live in a new generation. I don't hold grudges. She's my daughter. She's my baby. I love her. And I'm just waiting for the day that God fixes it and heals us both. And we can move forward.
His hands is already on it.
I already feel that. I feel that after she hear this, she'll be, like right on it.
His hands is already on it. And it's very complicated, um, men who are in the street relationship with their daughters.
Thank you.
And I
You
think
really
that
are saying you really are saying all the greatest shit, like for real.
it no
No, not for real, not just saying that. No, because
it really is. And I don't
sometimes
think
my wording isn't the greatest, but the way you are wording it is making it to where people really will understand, and I appreciate you for that. I'm grateful.
it's so true. And it's complicated because the father is her first love, every daughter's first love, right? And when your father is a gangster, he's a superhero. He's not Superman. He's Superman with the Teflon suit, right? He can crush whole worlds, right? And if there was any time there was a separation, the love didn't stop. It's just you're hurt and you're angry. It's like it's the first breakup in a woman's life, right? And by nature and the way we're divinely wired as women, our first instinct is always to nurture, love, and forgive, right? But because you got that part of the gangster in you, right? Because daughters of gangsters usually inherit more of the characteristics of that man than the sons. I don't know why that is. I think God balances it out that way. But that's what happens, right? So now you're going up against this beautiful creature that you created and brought into this world, and her mind and her spirit is a direct reflection of you. You like, wait, I expected this from the boys, right? This is a tough cookie here. You're not even scared for her safety. The world better be nervous. So it's like, so many women need to hear that. who are daughters of these men who were successful in that underground economy, because you're not the only one. We've also witnessed Boozy and his daughter. I say, here we go again, because again, this generation is just a little different. Things are played out and misconstrued and, exploited, but God's hand is on it and it's going to be fine. You just watch and see.
I
It's going to be
appreciate that,
fine.
and you explaining that. Like I said, I haven't heard it explained that way, and
Mm.
and as you said it, it clicks, and I hope it clicks with everybody else because, like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are looking at me and Coy's relationship and waiting to see what happens because
They're seeing
it
themselves.
helps them exactly.
They're seeing themselves. They like, what do I do? The Cliff Huxtable don't know what this is because he doesn't come from that. He has no
Well,
idea.
Cliff Huxtable gets to stay. He has money, a great job, and he gets to spend time.
Yeah.
The thing that's what the daughters want. That's it.
Right.
Just not reality
Right.
and millions of guys out there in the street,
Right.
kids out of wedlock and not with the mother.
Right. It makes it very
It's a
difficult.
it's a functional dysfunction.